How's everybody doing today? Welcome to another wonderful episode of The Market Made Easy with the Maxwell Group. Here today with County Assessor Judd Simmons. How are you, sir?
I'm good.
Thank you so much for joining us. We
Thank you
greatly
for having
appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. It's awesome to have somebody on, an elected official on our show. It's an honor. Thank you for coming on. It's awesome.
You
Well,
bet.
it's one of the things that
and I hear good things about your team. So
it's one of the things I think
Yes.
is so great about the Prescott area is that we can have, and we do have elected officials who are willing to sit down and talk with us and help get the message out to everybody. So
you bet.
yeah,
More than
again.
happy to. More than happy to.
So why don't we jump right in? How about that?
Okay. So you have been the county assessor since 2016.
Correct.
And can you tell us a little bit about what qualifies you to be the county assessor and give us a little insight on your background a little bit?
You bet. Well, before running for office, I was a real estate appraiser for 20 years. And I owned and operated my own appraisal company for 18 of those 20 years. So, of course, running a business, gives you some good managerial and leadership skills. Also, I'm a licensed realtor.
Yes, you are.
So all of those things added up, I think suits me well for the position. Yep.
That's great. So I think everyone is wondering, what do you do? What is your job? What does your work week look like? What does that look like on a regular basis for you?
Well, before we get into the appraisal part of it and, full cash value and market value and all those kind of things, we'll just run you through kind of a, like you said, a weekly scenario, what I do daily. Day starts off, meetings galore. So
Meetings galore.
Yes, we have lots of meetings.
Glorious
Yes.
bureaucracy.
Yeah, exactly. So never-ending meetings. But no, kind of daily. I meet with my chief deputy.
Okay.
And we go over, some of the, production reports. We go over what we want to achieve for the day. Any unfinished business, things like that. And then typically I'll meet with my supervisors. We have several departments at the assessor's office. We have our clerical pool, we have cartography, we have customer service. Of course, we have our appraisers and our administrative team. So lots going on, and of course, if there's time in the day, I like to walk around and visit with the staff and see how they're doing and that kind of thing. So that's kind of a and of course, meetings shoved in between those meetings, with the public and whatnot. But that's kind of a work week scenario.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is when you meet with these, different departments, you're, basically just getting a really good understanding of how everything is going. If there's any issues,
Correct.
You're there to advise, and then you guys have a lot of meetings to make decisions. So, like, what do you advise on? Like, what kind of decisions do you guys really make? Like, what does that look like?
I think. Where you're going is, what is my role?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And of course, I am an appraiser, state certified appraiser, and of course, I've got my Department of Revenue level 2 appraisal license, but I don't actually do much of the appraisal work in the office. My role is more of a leadership and managerial role, and not the quarterback or the running back. I'm the head coach, type of thing.
Okay.
So, and also a lot of what I do as the assessor is a lot of public outreach, education. There's a lot of questions out there.
Right.
Like you said, a lot of people don't understand what we do.
Right.
Process. So we try we try to get the word out. And so I'm available to different groups, and we go all around the county and try to spread the word.
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome. Okay. So you're kind of like the head coach. You make sure that everything's running smoothly and that everybody has what they need and that it runs well.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
That makes sense. All right. So one of the questions Kellen had that I think is one of the hot topics that most people have is, I'll have Kellen ask it.
Well, I mean, it comes down to this. The biggest question that we get when it comes to valuation is, why is my appraised value, what the bank sends an appraiser out and determines the market value of a home, why is that different than my assessed value? What does it mean? And just those are, I think, the biggest questions that people don't fully understand.
Yeah.
Is why those two numbers are so sometimes wildly different numbers.
Right. And that's by design. That's set up years ago, basically by, our state legislatures. They set up our property tax system so you are protected against, high taxes. So basically, what the difference between market value, and we all know market value is, the definition of market value from a real estate and a fee simple appraiser versus full cash value. And the full cash value is just an indirect relation to market value, and that's based on sales ratios, and sales ratios are set by the state, and they are a percentage, and it's a statistical percentage of the market value. And typically for residential property, that's about 82% or 18% of market value is your full cash value. That is the target of that sales ratio. And so, yes, market value, it will always, it should be higher than your full cash value. And if it's not, then that is when you want to come in to our office and appeal your value. So, long story short,
a hedge against overinflated tax rates due to a bull real estate market.
Right. And there are also there are other levels of protection or part of that process that I think we'll get into in a little bit, but that's correct. So, your full cash value will always be below your market value, and of course, if it's not, then you want to come see me.
Okay. So, so it's always going to be lower, and then they come up with that number based on sales ratios.
Right. And that's 82% set by the state.
Okay.
So that's the target. So it's not always going to be 82% because we appraise, you got to remember, we have, 162,000 parcels that we have to appraise. So we appraise on what's called the CAMA system, or computer assisted mass appraisal. So it's statistics. I'm sure everybody loves statistics.
Well, I get that. Otherwise, it would never get done. It would just it would take too long.
Exactly.
So. You're not driving around to all 162,000 parcels.
We cannot do it. We only have 53 employees.
Have you tried?
Yeah.
No.
Thankfully, we have not. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, if they ever get a bill that's high on the full cash and that matches what their market value is, then there's something that they need to evaluate.
Yeah.
Okay.
There could be a problem from our end that we missed something. Maybe there was a remodel or a demolition. So there'd be any reasons why the values would be different. So.
Okay. Do you think there are any other concerns that the typical homeowner has when they come to you? What's their big hot buttons? What are they worried about?
Well, I think most people, they think that just because the market is increasing, that means their taxes are going to be going up. And that's not necessarily the case. primarily because of Prop 117, and that's the one where that limits your limited property value, which is your taxable value, to only go up 5%. So you're still protected by only a 5% increase of your taxable value.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's that's one of the biggest things that people get have questions on. So, and I think another thing that a lot of people that come into my office inquire about are exemptions. And, we have a large retirement population. And so we have the senior freeze, which is not really an exemption. It just freezes the value. So you're, so you won't have that increase. Doesn't freeze your taxes, but it freezes the value. And that's you have to qualify for that. We also have the widow's exemption. We have a disability exemption. And of course we have all of our nonprofits. So, we get a lot of questions on all of those.
So how does somebody go about obtaining an exemption if it's necessary?
Well, the first thing would just either go to our website. We have a lot of information on the website, or on our Fair Street office. We have our customer service has all the information on how to qualify for these different types of exemptions.
Cool.
Yep.
That's awesome. I didn't realize there were that many. I think that's actually awesome. I mean, for people that really need it and can take advantage of it. That's awesome.
Right. Yeah, there's quite a few out there.
Cool.
So not a lot of people know about it, and that's part of, my public outreach is tried to, inform the public of some of these exemptions and these opportunities for people to save some money. So
that's awesome. Okay, so what's next? What's up on the horizon for property values? Do you have any indication on that as far as you're concerned? Anything you want to get out to the public?
Well, I think, nationally, there's kind of a slowdown. A lot of people are seeing that. Locally, we have between, we're still doing well, but we've kind of cooled off just a smidge. From 17 to 18, the median home sale price grew 6% countywide. Quad Cities was about 5%, but between 2016 and 2017, we had a 7% increase in the median home sale price. So you can see just a slight trend downward. With interest rates creeping up, everyone's talking like there's, we're bound to cool off a little bit. So, but we're still Arizona, we're still Yavapai County. I can't see it going flat.
Well, and I'm going to throw in a question that that I was thinking about with the difference between Arizona taxes and other states. And I think what is desirable about Arizona is our low property taxes. And can you explain what, I know this is kind of off book, but how that compares to other states? Do you have any information on that and on how it differs?
Yeah, well, I can tell you that we are quite a bit lower than most of the people, from the states that most of the people are coming from. So like, California and Illinois and the East Coast. I don't know how much they're paying, but I know it's quite a bit less. People are shocked when they realize that they're only going to be paying X amount. County-wide, we're about 12.5% is our tax rate. So it's I don't know nationally, but we should feel pretty good about living here and not being short of any services that those taxes pay for.
Right. Well, and especially with the voters have spoken. I mean, they wanted to cap those property tax increases. So that says something about how we value that here in Arizona for sure. It seems.
Yeah. The only time that 5% would not apply is when you made significant changes to your property that would increase your value or a reduction in value. So that would be the only scenario where you would not be protected by that 5%. So
That's interesting.
Yeah. And then the other thing too, going back to full cash value being sort of a protection. We also have legal class protections too. So, in other words, after you come up with the taxable value, then there's another step in the process to where you're only paying residential, for instance, is only paying 10% of that taxable value. Commercial is 18%. Vacant land is 15%. So there's several layers where there are some statutory. I don't even want to call it protections, but it's just part of the tax process. And but it certainly helps. A lot of other states have like a flat tax, and it's just whatever it is. I think Arizona's got one of the most complicated tax systems in the entire country. So, yeah, welcome to my world.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and in some states, the property tax is more directly related to the purchase price of the home, which is not necessarily the case here in Arizona.
Yeah, California has their own version, their Prop 13, and once they sell their property, it resets the value or their taxable portion of that to whatever that sale price is. When we sell a property here in Arizona, nothing changes. You're still assessed based on, the average or the median sale price of your market. So,
and how often are those assessments redone?
Well, we do them every year.
Okay.
Yep. And as a matter of fact, we're getting ready to mail out our notices of value for the year 2020.
Oh,
so,
wow. Okay.
Yeah. So we're, we run ahead of schedule, I guess. So
have to. Yeah.
2019 tax bills you're getting. We came up with those values last year, so the 2020 values we'll be mailing those out probably towards the end of February, and then once we mail those out, you have 60 days from that date of the mail out to appeal or petition. The value if you don't agree. And remember, I think that's another misconception is you can only appeal on the full cash value. You can't appeal, the tax rate or the limited property value. It's the only portion that you can appeal. And then, of course, if there's a legal class issue, like if your property is not really residential property, it's commercial, that kind of thing. But so that's kind of a little public announcement there.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Pay attention. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
You could save some money if you have a discrepancy there.
Yeah. Yeah. And and appeals are way down. They've been down for the last several years, mostly because of this Prop 117 capping the taxable increase to 5%. So, there's really nothing to argue if your limited property value is only going up 5%. And of course, with the market increasing the way it is, that the market's way above the full cash value, which is your appealed portion. So
interesting. Well, I definitely think that there's people that come in and appeal, and then there's some people that know that their house is has a little bit more square footage than the
assessor thinks
it has.
Yes, our sketch. Yep.
That we run into that too, but obviously you never hear from them.
Yeah, it's funny.
No one's begging for more taxes.
Well, it's funny. The only time that we we hear about that when homeowner has the wrong square footage is when they go to sell it, because that's when they want to make sure that they get everything they can get for their money. But if we miss something, and most people stay quiet.
And it seems like that's usually when because either if there's a new build and they added a little bit more square footage in the end and never got recorded that way. I mean, I've seen that happen.
We try. We're not perfect, but we try to catch everything. We get all the permits from all of the local municipalities, and so we keep up with what's going on out there. But a lot of times there's permits that haven't been pulled, or maybe we miss one, but it happens. But we try to keep track of all 163,000 parcels, but not all of them are improved. They're that's including vacant land. But,
wow, that's awesome. All right, war story. Do you have one?
No, not real war stories, but just kind of comical.
Okay.
We'll take funny.
Yeah,
funny's good.
It's every time the tax bills come out, we get the calls. And we get the people at the front counter. Why is this tax bill so high, or why is my property value so high? And we try to explain to everybody that's we sent you the notice back in November, about your property values. That was your time that you could appeal. And then if you wanted to argue about your taxes, you have to see the, the treasurer or the supervisors or whoever's setting the tax rate. Not the treasurer, but the, he's the one. The treasurer's the one who sends out the tax bill. But I think that's kind of the recurring thing that we just have to get used to, and it's fine. We're here to help the public. And
you send out those notices in February and cut off sick time and vacation time for the first week of March to make sure that you're fully staffed and ready to receive everyone who might be coming in to challenge their tax bill.
We actually, it's funny you say that. We actually, that first week that they can come in and appeal, we set up out in the lobby some of our appraisers, some of our staff to help with questions and deal with paperwork and processing those appeals. So we anticipate the early rush, probably the first couple of weeks, and then it kind of dies off. But like I said, the appeals are way down. We had under 200 last year, and that's unheard of. Yeah,
and that's not a bad ratio for 163,000 parcels.
And this year it's probably going to be the same or even less. I would assume it's going to be less. So
that's solid.
That's awesome.
Exactly. So, and then the treasurer sends out the bill, and he sends them out in September, I think, August, September, sometimes like that, sometime in there. So, and that's when we get the other rush. And so we just make sure we have people available to answer questions on the tax bill when those come out. So,
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I think I've gotten all my questions answered. Kellen, do you have any others?
No, I think we've touched base on everything that we wanted to. Again, just want to thank you so much, Judd, for stopping in today and chatting with us. We really do appreciate it, and I'm sure the public does as well. It's again, I can't say it enough. It's so lovely to have public officials and leaders who are willing to sit down and talk with us and just share information with everybody, kind of in layman's terms. Instead of I don't know, reading through a ballot proposal is not in my top 5 things I ever want to do.
I appreciate it. I hope I didn't confuse you too much. I know we didn't touch on the limited property value, but that comes in after your full cash value. Again, that's just a portion to make it as simplest as it can be. Is the limited property value is a portion of the full cash value. And the limited value is what you're taxed on. So, if you guys or anybody out there has any questions, we just spent the last several months revamping our website.
Okay.
We got rid of a lot of old information, a lot of wrong information. It's easier to work through. We have a lot of great information, including questions on, the process, all the exemptions, really anything you have a question on. And that website is www.yavapai.us, and just click on the assessors button, and you'll go right to my page. And so we're excited. We're excited for that, and hopefully that's enough for everyone to get as much information as they need. And of course, if not, you could always call me.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, again, thank you, and thanks everybody for watching. We really do appreciate your support and appreciate y'all tuning in week after week. I think that's about enough for one day. And so until next week, I'm Kellen Hoskins. This is Carissa Maxwell, and we will see you soon. Hope you're having a lovely day.
Thank you.